Hi, this is Kristin and Reese.
Full marathons, this was lucky number 13 for me, ironically. This was my third consecutive one. So. I had actually finished. They bring your bags that you dropped at the start of the marathon up in school buses, so I went and got my bags and changed into my warmer clothes and was texting my son trying to figure out where to meet. And originally we were going to meet by the Boston Public Library, and then he texted me and said, oh, we can't because that's where they have the VIP tent set up today, which turned out to be actually very fortunate because I was right across the street from where the first bomb went off. And so I knew I was on the same block as him, and then I heard the bombs go off. And it was, I mean, we were in a crowd of thousands of people, and it's where all the families are reuniting with their runners, so it was really loud and happy, and the bomb went off, and everything shook, and it was just immediate silence. Pretty much everybody knew something really bad had happened. We didn't know what. I thought maybe a building had collapsed or something. So then, and I knew my son was somewhat near me, so I just started screaming his name, and then found him, and then dropped a few words that I shouldn't have in front of my 16-year-old, basically, what the just happened? He said, I don't know. And then it just started to get a little chaotic at that point. Well, we were standing on a street corner, and everybody was just kind of looking around saying, oh my gosh, what just happened? And then I saw a woman coming from the side street, obviously from the Finnish area, just hysterical, saying, there's a bomb, gotta get out of here. Right where we were, it was a lot of just kind of confusion, like what happened, a lot of disbelief, like are we really in danger? It was amazing how many emergency response vehicles there must have been in the area, because all these black unmarked SUVs and ambulances and fire trucks were just screaming towards the finish line area, and then we were trying to get the other direction to get out of their way and to get away from the danger zone. I guess there are a couple. I mean, the first was alternating moments with my son Bailey, he's a really smart, put-together kid, and him kind of taking care of me and shepherding me along, and then one of us would remember, oh, we don't know where so-and-so is, and so we'd text one of our friends to see if they were okay. So kind of that struggle between trying to stay put together, and then one of us would fall apart crying. I mean, that's kind of a big memory I have. And then the other really big memory was when we were trying to get back to our hotel, which we knew was in the blast zone. I had asked a police officer what the best way he thought was to get back there, and he's like, okay, we'll go this way and stay away from this area because it's the command center. And we ended up having to go kind of near the command center, and we saw the first wave of ambulances leave the scene, and it was just, I mean, I have it on video on my phone, it was dozens and dozens and dozens of ambulances leaving, and they all had their lights on, and it was just like, oh my gosh, every single one of those ambulances have someone in it that was hurt. So that's kind of a very powerful memory. And then just seeing armed soldiers in our hotel lobby for the next few days, and armored cars surrounding our hotel. It was just like, it turned into a war zone. And I was born and raised in Boston, so it's my hometown, so seeing it, the army all around, was pretty incredible. A bunch of us from Minnesota, and then I belong to a running group that we all correspond via Facebook, and everybody's from all over the country and Canada. So luckily we had set up a group texting site. So as soon as the bombs went off, I was the one that was closest to it, and I just immediately sent out a text saying, everybody check in, we need to know if you're all okay, and luckily everybody was safe. One of my friends, the closest he was, I think he finished like maybe 2 minutes before the bomb went off, so he has actually photos of the smoke, and he was about less than a block away. It's bizarre because my son, and now I'm going to pay attention whenever he says he has a dream, runners have anxiety dreams before big races, and my son had run the 5K the day before. And then on Saturday, he said, I'm having major running anxiety dreams, and I'm not even running the darn marathon. He had dreamt that and everything was going on with North Korea at that time. He's like, I dreamt the North Koreans bombed the marathon route. So it was very kind of eerie foreshadowing. Yeah, I know. And it was just, I mean, we kept saying to ourselves, who would do this? Who would bomb peaceful sporting event. I mean, what kind of crazy person thinks that this is okay to do, and why would someone want to do something like that? It was pretty nerve-wracking because when I was running down Boylston, which is it's probably about a 5 or 6 block last part of the marathon, some of my friends were on my left screaming for me, and they're from Minnesota, and I didn't know that that's where they were going to be, so I remember waving at them and going to the finish. And then somehow I figured out, I don't know how, or if somebody had told us where the cross street was, where the second bomb had been off, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's where Adam and Sonia were standing cheering for me, and I knew they were cheering for me, but they were also cheering for Sonia's fiance, who I knew was finishing a few minutes behind me. So immediately I started texting to make sure they were okay, because I thought, oh my gosh, they were right where that other bomb went off, and luckily they texted back right away saying that they had left the area probably about a minute before the bomb went off. But yeah, if Mike had not finished sooner, or if he had finished a little further along in the race, they would have been standing right where the other bomb went off, so it was pretty scary.